years. We've spent a decade watching a quirkless kid break his bones to become the world's greatest hero. But did the final season actually stick the landing? Or did it fumble one of the most important legacies in modern shounen anime? Grab your hero license, because Studio Bones just delivered the highly anticipated conclusion to My Hero Academia, and we need to have a serious conversation about that controversial ending.
Up, 'cause legends never die. When the world is calling you, screaming out your name.
For the uninitiated, My Hero Academia takes place in a superhuman society teetering on the edge of total collapse. The final season throws us straight into the apocalyptic endgame. The heroes and villains are locked in an all-out catastrophic war that will determine the absolute fate of Japan. The safety nets are gone, and society has entirely crumbled. At the absolute epicenter of this chaos is our protagonist, Izuku Midoriya, facing down the unstoppable godlike threat of Tomura Shigaraki. It is a heist, desperate battle for survival that pushes every single character to their physical and psychological limits.
Everything's lost. Legends never die. When the world is calling you.
Let's address the elephant in the room: Studio Bones' production quality. After a heavily criticized mid-run slump, Bones pulled out all the stops for this final arc. The animation execution during the massive battlefield sequences is breathtaking. They traded the bright, saturated colors of the early seasons for a gritty, cinematic aesthetic, giving these apocalyptic clashes the heavy, bone-crushing weight they desperately needed. The absolute crown jewel of this season is the climax between Deku and Shigaraki. This wasn't just a mindless, it was a devastating ideological clash. The emotional stakes are palpable, with Deku pushing one for all to its absolute breaking point. The kinetic camera work and dynamic storyboarding perfectly captured the sheer desperation, making you feel the agonizing weight of every single punch thrown to save Shigaraki's soul. But we must discuss how effectively the anime adapted the manga's notoriously controversial final chapters. The pacing is a massive double-edged sword here. While the anime successfully fleshes out some rushed character conclusions from Kohei Horikoshi's original panels, it still struggles with pacing whiplash. Bones elevates the emotional resonance, but it couldn't fully fix the structural flaws of the heavily debated epilogue. If you log on to Reddit's anime or check the fiery discussion threads on Twitter, the community sentiment is a massive battlefield of its own. The hardcore animation junkies are widely praising Studio Bones for returning to form, hyping up the final battle sequences as peak shonen cinema. On my anime list, the scores are incredibly high, reflecting a deep, nostalgic appreciation for the decade-long journey. However, the manga readers are still fiercely debating the ending itself. Many fans feel the epilogue was incredibly polarizing and left several major character arcs feeling entirely unresolved. The fandom's consensus is completely split. They universally love the visual spectacle and the voice acting, but remain fiercely divided on the actual narrative conclusion. My Hero Academia's final season is a visually spectacular, emotionally exhausting roller coaster that mostly succeeds in wrapping up a decade-defining story. Studio Bones delivered where it mattered most, crafting a stunning climax that will be remembered for years. Even if the narrative epilogue stumbles slightly at the finish line, if you have been following Deku's journey since 2016, this grand finale is absolute mandatory viewing. Despite its structural flaws, the emotional payoff and character growth are undeniably powerful. I am giving the My Hero Academia final season a solid 8 out of 10. Go beyond. Plus Ultra, and thanks for watching!